Every author will fail to achieve their maximum skill and output level. Almost every day, something steals our writing time or steals our energy. While we can't be perfect, as stewards of the resources God has given us, we're behooved to surmount these obstacles the best we can. Today, we're going to talk about overcoming busyness and discouragement, the two big killers of productivity. Let's start with busyness. Busyness takes two forms, work and distraction. You already know you can eliminate distraction. We'll get to that in a moment. But can you eliminate non-writing work? The mindset principle here is to always favor what should weigh heaviest. As discussed in the PDF at the bottom of the last lesson, oftentimes writers desperate to become real published authors may find that time to write weighs heavier than a college degree. Sometimes it's okay to sacrifice major parts of our lives to make writing a priority. You should also evaluate all the little errands and volunteer work you sign up for and learn when to say no. I like to be busy, maybe you do too, but we're not out to be busy, we're out to be fruitful. Here, I need to restrain myself because I could easily analyze a gazillion activities and whether you should or should not sacrifice them for the sake of writing. But you need to decide these issues for yourself, based upon your life experience, tastes, and God's Word. I'll just give you a few pointers. First, be willing to question work you hold dear. One thing I've had to do is cut back on my beta reading. Even though I love to help people, I need time to write myself. Second, can you delegate? This is the easiest solution to your work problem. If possible, you may even consider hiring somebody to do certain tasks so you can have more time to write. Third, hold fast to your holistic identity in Christ. You are not defined by your writing. As valuable as it is, your relationship with God is all that really matters. Sometimes this means writing a lot as a blessing to your fellow man, and sometimes it means taking a break from your writing to go help a friend fix their house or bake a healthy, satisfying meal. Remember, it's not just the story you write, it's the story you live. If you find yourself losing direction, it may be because you've departed from the source. God would certainly not have your writing take the place of prayer or Bible study, as He instructs us to partake in these regularly. Finally, allow for seasons in life. What is most important now may be less important later, and vice versa. To cap this off, I'll repeat. That which is weightiest must weigh most. In addition to cutting work out of our schedules, we can do more in less time. This can include being diligent and improving our processes to perform menial tasks in a record time. It can also include double tasking. As an example, I often make lunch at my house, and I've discovered that I can fit in 30 to 45 minutes of audio in that time. I've been able to plow through some audiobooks for research this way, and even fit in some fiction reading. I usually play the audio at about 1.5 speed for greater efficiency. As a side note, I also love to do research on YouTube, and YouTube also has this setting for increasing the playback speed. Moving on. Now we come to the real problem. Fighting menial distractions. Once again, we must remind ourselves that that which is weightiest must weigh most. That might be good to memorize. Here are some forms of media we consume, regularly sacrificing great accomplishments for merely good ones. 1. All forms of social media. To be fair, social media does have legitimate uses. But if someone you respected were to run an analysis of your use of social media, chances are you would blush at how you've wasted hours and hours of your life. Remember, it's not about doing good activities. It's about doing great activities. Friendships are certainly vital for sanity and just living a meaningful life, but there are usually better ways to maintain friendships than through social media. Second, television shows. Much as I love film, Consuming regular, long shows or multiple movies a week regularly may not be best. Remember that good is the enemy of the great. Do you really need to watch that show to keep your sanity or get more writing inspiration? What good will the writing inspiration be if you never actually write? Third, lest you think I'm being prejudiced, reading too much fiction can also be a waste of time. Now, I fully understand that writers must consume lots of stories to learn from master storytellers and keep their imaginations alive. However, you can technically do fine on dry seasons of reading consumption if that's what it takes to write. Fourth, news. Yes, I understand a discerning person studies the times to know how to act, but when you get addicted to news, when you consume news that doesn't matter, when you consume news you can't act upon, more news than you can pray over, you, my friend, need to back down. Fifth, research. I say this to only half of you listening. Some of you need to research a whole lot more than you currently do. The other half sometimes uses research as a form of procrastination. Actually, most of us have both problems in different seasons of our lives. 6, the internet in general. If you've got an addiction, just try turning your internet off. Let me be very blunt about the underlying principle here. If you say writing is important to you, but you don't treat it as important to you, you're lying. I know this because you're a creature designed to seek satisfaction. You will do what you truly think will be the most satisfying. If you let petty distractions keep you from writing, you're publicly declaring that you believe the temporary gratification of these distractions outweighs the long-term glory of writing a timeless story. Let's do an exercise. Get out a piece of paper and write down your regular activities and goals. Things like Bible study, exercise, work, writing, time with friends and family, social media, etc. Next to each item, assign a number on a scale of 1 to 10 for how weighty that area should weigh on your time. Now you have a guide for how to spend your time. Refer to it regularly to see how you're doing. While resolving to cast off distractions like social media or TV shows is good, that's only half the struggle. You must also resolve to write. Think of it, if you're not writing, you're going to do something. And almost anything is easier to do than writing. So chances are you'll need to develop a schedule. What this looks like will vary from person to person and situation to situation. However, there are some best practices. First, find what time of day is best for you to write, then cram in as much as you can into that time block. Second, set specific and consistent blocks of time to write in. Alternatively, set yourself a word count goal and don't leave your computer till you've reached it. Third, consider holding off any tempting activities until after you've finished writing for the day. Otherwise, those other activities might turn into distractions. Fourth, write 5 to 6 days a week if possible, even if it's only a little on some days. Sixth, consider setting yourself daily word counts. And seventh, if your writing schedule isn't working, change the rest of your schedule around to make room for it. For instance, try to go to bed early and get up earlier to write. Stop to consider how much of a priority writing really is to you. Only when your heart is in it will you find time in your schedule for it. This may be a good time to reflect on why you write. Also, what's keeping you from writing? If you want writing to be a bigger priority for you, how can you overcome the mental blocks holding you back? Let's move on now and talk about the other type of distraction, the type that involves others. The first step to dealing with distractions from others is respecting your own writing time. Only then will others respect it. At first, you may not feel like writing. You may be uncertain you can actually do it. Develop the mindset that if you're just persistent enough, eventually it will become part of your nature. The same persistence will be necessary in communicating with others. No, now is not a good time to practice your bagpipe, I'm writing. This may take time and effort at first, but eventually it will pay off. When necessary, isolate yourself temporarily from the company of others by locking the door, putting in earplugs, or writing outside. From my own experience, the longer I persist in writing, the more people take me seriously and believe in me. Okay, we've covered most of the ways to find more time to write, but sometimes time is not actually the main obstacle. It's discouragement. Let's see if I can spark a mindset of hope in you. I'm actually intimately familiar with this problem. In fact, in all honesty, I used to regularly suffer from depression over my writing, and I still do occasionally. Because of this, I know this is no easy subject. I can't give you a 1, 2, 3 formula. However, some things can definitely aggravate this, and there are some good principles you should keep in mind. First, I think mindset is crucial here. Here are the two big ones. While discouragement may be a part of your life, faith can overcome discouragement. The person who feels low whenever they try their best and still falls short should realize that God really does work all things together for good. He is sovereign even in our shortcomings. And second, there is no failure. There's only feedback. If you're discouraged with your writing, that means you can see how it could be better, which means you can make it better. In addition, here are some real practical tips for when discouragement is holding you back. 1. Pray for help. God is our very present help in time of trouble. 2. Find someone to listen. Just having someone you can tell how you're feeling can be greatly relieving. 3. If negative feedback is hard for you to swallow, try to schedule when you receive negative feedback. For instance, only open your editor's notes once you've finished your word count for the day. 4. Find a quick win. This is anything that can help you feel victorious and realign your perspective. It could be writing related, like drafting a blog post or coming up with a plan to rewrite that scene that's been bothering you. Or it could be anything like running a mile or cleaning your room. Whenever you accomplish something, your energy and positivity will generally increase. 5. Alternately, if you're just beat, maybe you need a change of pace. Forget writing for a bit. This is detrimental if you do it regularly, but it's absolutely necessary for every once in a while. Try taking a walk, chatting with a friend or family member, or trying something new. 6. Indulge in praise. As important as it is to get thorough criticism of your writing, that doesn't mean you can't receive praise too. You can ask people, what did I do right in this draft? What am I good at? This might sound cocky or needy, but honestly, knowing your strengths will help you become a stronger writer. Also, most people want the chance to cheer you up, so you'll be doing them a favor by asking. 7th, keep studying because while discouragement will never go away, as you grow, there will be more cause for confidence. Writing is war. Everything is striving to keep you from staying engaged, but don't give in. The struggle is equal to the prize. For now, here's your homework. First, what's one good thing you're doing currently that you need to cut for the sake of doing something great? And second, what's one petty activity you can eliminate from your daily routine?